Good afternoon and welcome. A call to order the meeting of joint meeting of the Board of Supervisors and the School Board, Tuesday, February 17th, 2026, 3:01 p.m. Board meeting room, 39 Bank Street, Southeast, Chatham, Virginia, 24531. Madam Clerk, would you call the roll, please?
Yes, sir. Mr. Bowman.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Mr. Dalton.
Here.
Mr. Dudley.
Present.
Mr. Whittle.
Here.
Mr. Ingram.
Here.
Mr. Tucker.
Here. Mr. Shields, would you call your roll, please?
Mr. Fitzgerald, Ms. Merricks, Mr. Doss, Mr. Moon, Mr. Henderson, Mr. Mills, Mr. Shields.
Thank you so much. Are there any items to be added to the agenda? Mr. Fitzgerald, was that a, no, okay, I'm sorry. Hearing no items, I'll ask for or entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make that motion, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you so much, Mr. Dalton. Is there support for the motion?
Second.
Thank you, Mr. Ingram. Let's see, gentlemen, cast your votes electronically. What's the vote count, Madam Clerk?
And it's approved.
What's the count? Oh, unanimous. Thank you so much.
Unanimously,
All right, that moves us to agenda item 5A, School Division Updates and Budget Request Presentation. Mr. Mayhew, good evening, sir, and welcome.
Good afternoon, Chairman Tucker,
Yes, sir.
members of the Board of Supervisors, Chairman Shields, member of the school board, staff, and all interested individuals this afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity to engage with you this afternoon to provide some updates of Pittsylvania County Schools, our outcome data, and our budget priorities and requests for the 26-27 school year. Have several slides I'd like to present you, and again, they're going to highlight, a lot of them are going to highlight the good news and work of our schools. Might need to help me with this. All right, there we go. I like to begin always, I like to show the showmanship of our staff and our students in terms of their citizenship and so forth as they did a remembrance activity for 9/11 ceremony at their middle school. And of course, I also like to recognize also the work that is done each year for Veterans Day at several of our schools honoring our veterans. Also, our school system is very much routed in the agriculture community, so we have partnerships with the Geyer Farm each year for Ag Day for our elementary school students. Our performance arts programs are very strong from our band programs, our programs for our specialty students, and all county band as well. The fine arts is a big part of Pittsylvania County Schools. We also have support programs for our ALE students, which are students for English as a second language, and those are some highlights of some recent activities we had with our students there. Several performances throughout the schools. Our partnership with VDOT, lots of plow painting and use of those blades this winter, as you can well see from our art and GRTC and clubs. Several STEM activities. I have several activities that we've done throughout the school system that we bolstered science, technology, engineering, math instruction at our elementary school programs. We also have fantastic programs in terms of partnerships with our Chatham Fair and Rescue, Interact Club, and so forth with our welding programs that work as service projects to help our local fire departments and, of course, our clubs for civic organizations. Athletic programs continue to improve. We have middle school sports at all our schools now, and you can see that is helping our programs in high school to be even better and more competitive. Our STEM Academy, which includes health sciences and advanced manufacturing, held an event recently, and those students performed very well. Expansions in our CTE programs and offerings. What you see there is expansions in our nursing program. We'll be able to double the offerings next year with the work of our CTE director. Also programs, we have our veterinary, animal, and agriculture science programs. Our agriculture programs are very strong in Pennsylvania County, as I mentioned before. We have welding programs at Career and Tech Center, but we also have programs at our middle schools to help expose the students to career connections, and that's funded by the Go Tech funds, and that is held at every one of our middle schools. All middle schools have the experience to work through different kind of CTE activities that lead to very high-paying jobs when they leave Pennsylvania County. That's our cybersecurity program, as you can see, and that is a program that is very intense. As you know, that's becoming a very high-need field, and our students there, that group continues to grow larger and larger, and they won several awards at a DCC event recently. Our technology education programs continue to get bigger and bigger, and so forth. A couple slides on those. Those are our welding and precision machining programs at our PCTC Career and Tech Center. As you know, that we have a great program there at that particular center. Leading back to our schools, we have an awesome marketing and education and DECA program that highlights students. Students there competed in an event and performed very well. That's where they had to go and speak. They had to do interview skills, different presentations that they don't always get the opportunity to do, but that will only help them get better as they leave Pennsylvania County or leave our school system. Our culinary arts program has gotten to be very exciting. The program is led by Ms. Bradley, and she does a fantastic job of providing good insight to the children. They do a fantastic job, and they also compete at several of our events, and they have served us and served several community members in several things that they have done to show their skills. Business education continues to improve. We have an outstanding business education program. Our schools continue to be highlighted on the WISE assessment, means financial literacy is very high, so they've done very well, a very good job with that in our school system. We have a 9th and 10th grade students advanced manufacturing, health science, biology, and environmental science STEM academy that gives the opportunity for the 9th and 10th graders to have opportunities to advance in those areas. Hopefully they will also have the opportunity to go to the Career and Tech Center and perhaps go straight into the workforce or seek more college and so forth as they leave Pennsylvania County schools. At the Career and Tech Center, we have 20 programs now. We are adding building trades. This is a program that we used to have several years ago, but we had migrated out of that particular way and expanded some other programs. As you know, building trades is a very much needed area in this particular area. So we have added that program this year. We intend to add sports medicine and athletic training, and again, I mentioned again the nursing program expansion. So very good programs at Career and Tech Center to help with the workforce here in our area. Other opportunities we have the Academy for Engineering and Technology, or AET program, that is on the same schedule as our governor school students. And we have our Piedmont Regional Governor School for Math, Science, and Technology. Recently, as you know, we had lots of weather, more so than probably in many years. And so we've missed 13 days of school. But our ladies that you see there and our cafeteria staff, our teachers and so forth, have worked very hard to support our families and our students during this time to provide meals, provide connection, and provide remote work during this time. And so we are very happy about fair weather and being able to return back to normal and have students in school. So I'd like to lead a discussion and let you know, I show you all the showcases of things I think are exciting, which is about the kids. What we're all about is about kids. We're about what's best for students and our families that we serve here in Pennsylvania County. I'd like to give you some information about outcomes. These are our 2024-25 SOL test results. I know that's small and you can't see all those, but I will just want you to pay attention to one particular feature. Every place that you see a red star in that picture means that our county scored higher than the state average. So that means the students here in Pennsylvania County, when compared against the state, does very well, and that's for our elementary schools. So that's all 10 elementary schools that you see there. We're moving forward. You will see our middle school. You see again, these are the scores for middle schools, and those are the scores for high schools. And again, I will draw the attention to the red stars, because those are areas where we have exceeded the average for the state. So lots of red stars indicating that we do very well in compared to the state of Virginia. And you zoom in, I always like to look and make sure you're aware, these are the localities that are close to us, that are very close to us, including Bedford, Franklin, Campbell, Henry, Martinsville, Halifax, Lynchburg City, and Danville City. If you will notice, in reading and math, Pittsylvania County leads. There's a gold star there because we lead the pack in terms of our outcomes. We have the highest assessment rates in SOL tests for reading. We have the highest in math. For science, we are the highest in science in those particular same schools, and we are second in history. So we're very proud, and then you can look when you zoom out for the state, and then you zoom a little closer and look how we compare to our neighbors. The students in Pittsylvania County, in terms of our outcomes for SOL tests, do very well. I also like to look at a few subgroups and provide some information because I think it's good to see that as well. If you will notice, and I didn't put words there, but you'll see the book means reading, the calculating means math, the flask means science, and of course the column means history. If you'll take a look, when you look at our students, our black students perform, and compared to the state, in the top 11% in reading, the top 8% in math, the top 12% in science, and 14% in history. For Hispanic students, top 7% in reading, top 12 in math, top 14 in science, and the top 7% in history. And our students with disabilities, they perform the top 6% in reading, top 14% in math, and the top 9% in science, and the top 12% in history. So what that means to me, and what I want to assert to you all, is when compared to our 132 school divisions in 24 and 25 school year, our students perform very well when compared to the state when you zoom in. Pittsylvania County Schools is 100% accredited. All 18 of our schools meet that accreditation. You've seen it in the paper. You've probably heard in our board meetings. We're very proud of the work that our teachers, that our staff, that our administrators, that our students do, and of course the support of our board. There's also a new accountability model that I'd like to just highlight just a few minutes with you. This is the snapshot for Region 6. There are 14 school divisions in Region 6. And of the school divisions, you can list there, it lists the distinguished status of schools and so forth. PCS, when compared to those 14 school divisions, has 7 distinguished schools when compared against the region. And you can see that gives you a kind of snapshot of every school division that you see there. You can see Pittsylvania County Schools has 7 distinguished schools, which again is a test of the hard work and good work that our staff and our students do each day. Now, I'd like to lead into our capital improvement priorities. So just want to give you some information about this. Our priorities list is for our 1% sales tax revenue. We're working through items 1, 2, 3, and 4, and as you will take a look, 1, 2, and 3, and 4, 1, 2, and 3 at the top refer to our security vestibules. We've completed those. Those are at all our elementary, middle, and high schools. We've updated those. Also having attack-resistant film on all our glass. Number 2, HVAC and window replacements at 5 elementary schools: Chatham, Hurt, Mount Airy, Southside, and Union Hall. And number 3, additions to eliminate mobile units for Kentuck, Southside, Stony Mill, and Union Hall. That's our priorities 1, 2, and 3. And we're working through all these right here, and that is all comes from our 1% sales tax referendum that we completed in 2023. So again, we're still waiting confirmation from the county to proceed with 5, 6, and 7, which will work on additions to eliminate remaining mobile units at Hurt, adding exterior restrooms for middle school sports at Gretna Middle and Tunstall, and then restroom additions for renovation at Chatham Mill, 2 sets of restrooms facilities at Kentuck, renovate 2 sets of restrooms at Southside, and renovate 3 sets of restrooms at Stony Mill Elementary School, and finally 2 sets of restrooms there. So our top total of priorities 1 through 7 are totaling $54,643,256 is where we have right now. So just a little information, we started collecting this in July 2023. For 19 years through July 2042. As of January 2026, we have collected $9.36 million to date. We are projected to collect approximately $75 million over the entire collection period. And again, this can only be used for capital improvements in schools. We appreciate our partnership. We work with the county to complete these very much needed renovations, improvements to our buildings. Again, you notice the difference in amount 75 versus 54. A lot of it has to do with interest rates as we continue to build and improve our schools. I'd like to give you some information about School Construction Assistance Program, or SCAP as we refer to. What you will see there is a list of monies that we have received from grants that we have applied for Chatham Elementary School, Mount Airy, Hurt, Southside, Union Hall. The total sales tax when we received the money from SCAP, we received approximately $9.7 million. That money has been secured, and that saves sales tax revenue that you saw from the previous slide, so we can complete additional projects throughout the school system to improve our buildings. And we will continue to try to work to get funds in that particular program from the state. So I'd like to give you some information relative to our local per pupil expenditure compared with surrounding localities. This slide particularly represents the local per pupil expenditure for students compared with neighboring school systems. This comes straight from the annual school report, so it's information that all schools report. So previously, PCS was funded approximately 125 out of 132 school divisions in the state. I am pleased to let you know that we have moved from 107 out of 131 school divisions, so that's good. We're down from 132 school divisions to 131 because one school system consolidated for this year. So we're now at 107 out of 131. So I would like to maybe just make a note and let you see, if you look at expenditures, take Pennsylvania County. If you want to compare to a close neighbor, Danville City's per pupil expenditure is $59.49. Pennsylvania County at $40.59. The difference is $1,890. When you take that and you look at the enrollment and you multiply that times the enrollment, the difference in the expenditure or ability to be able to, what they pay for student is $14,728,880, and that's compared to Danville City. And of course, you can run the numbers for each one, but this just gives you an idea of where we stand when compared to our neighbors. This is a history of the Board of Supervisors local composite index and funding of the required minimum. So as you can see, that blue line there represents the local composite index as it goes. And remember, it always goes every 2 years. The gold bar graph will represent the minimum provided by the Board of Supervisors. If you'll take a look for 2021, 2022, that was the biennium there, and you can see the composite index where it was on the blue line, and then you can see where the Board of Supervisors funded. You were funded 24.4% over those 2 years, and that's because the composite index dropped those 2 years. But for the next two bienniums, 23, 24, it's been approximately 6.7%, 3.95, 1.89, and the current year is 5.17% above the state minimum. To give you some updates about the governor's budget, right now we're expecting an increase in state revenue of approximately $2.3 million. And then, of course, there's an increase, again, $2.3 million, and that's just the governor's budget. We have not received information that the current governor has done any amendments to this, and we have not received information about the House and Senate budget. Once we do, then we'll have a better understanding where we are, particularly when they go to crossover, we'll know. But right now, that's what we're building our budget based on the governor's, and that's Governor Youngkin's budget. So to maintain 6% above the required minimum would project approximately $1.3 million from the locality. The total potential funding from the state and locality is $3.6 million. Please note again the LCI for fiscal year 2026-2028, which is the next biennium, will increase to 27.15%, and I think you already know that, and that's an increase of 0.73%. So a lot of information on that slide. Just want to make sure that kind of sets in and you see where we stand in terms of what the state is giving us right now or potentially giving us right now. So staff priorities, so we have already met with our staff, and we have presented this to the budget committee of what we think we need for next year for the 26-27 school year. So as you'll look here, I'll go through, there's a couple slides on this. The first thing is a 3.5% salary increase for July 1. That includes a 2% cost of living plus a step. I just have to point this out. If we're going to continue to attract and retain the best, we've got to focus on salaries. We'd love to do even more than that, but that's what we believe we can do based with the new money that we're receiving. Maintain specialty support positions funded by CARES and all-in funding. We have several positions that we have become part of our budget that we think are needed to support our students. This is not positions that are result from classroom positions. These are support positions such as reading specialists and positions like that. We think they're very much needed by our staff. Administrative adjustments for middle school sports. As you know, we're adding more sports to middle school, and we feel we need to adjust that salary schedule, so that's where that goes there. Our high school course directors are doing more work, so we want to make sure that we are providing them stipends, so that's located there. The cybersecurity platform, I'll just say this much. I don't know much about it, but I do know our IT director says we need that, so that's something we want to make sure we continue to be able to protect our network. Canvas software is something that we have utilized quite a bit since COVID. The state has been funding that for the last few years. They have not given anything in the budget to say that's going to change. So we do need to have something in the budget to be able to have that, and that's going to cost that amount right there. The CEIA USA Open Gate Weapons Metal Detection. Our schools have been studying this to have weapons detection in our buildings. And this is just one form. We believe this is the best version. Think of a metal detector. This is more so of a mobile one that you can move in different spots. If you could have it at games, or perhaps you could have it at different locations. That's the cost there, and that's the one we think is best to be able to help secure our schools. And we'd like to start with high school, then move it to middle school, and perhaps expand it to more. Raptor is another program that helps with management in terms of emergency management. So we would like that to be something that we have. The next one is a lift for our bus shop. And then refurbishing one chiller per year at high school. It's hard to believe, but our high school was renovated in 2009, 2010. And we had to completely replace a chiller at one of our middle schools just a couple years ago. So we need to go ahead and start working on refurbishing or replacing those on a cycle. So that's for our budget request. Next, replacing gym floors at Chatham Elementary School at Twin Springs, upgrading our water system at Stony Mill, paving repair and annual operating expense, and additional parking lot in front of Chatham Elementary School. Total staff priorities are set at $4.5 million. And again, I will note classroom positions will be addressed within our current budget. As you know, our enrollment has dropped a bit. Of course, the state's down at 2%. Again, we will work toward adjusting those as we need to make sure we're meeting our standards of quality, and that will be handled through retirements, resignations, and vacancies, and transfers. So the bottom line here is this. What we are requesting is this from our locality to maintain the 6% above minimum. We are asking additional local funding needed to maintain 6% above the minimum, which is almost $1.3 million. To meet the staff priorities, we will need additional $902,000. The total ask is $2.2 million to be able to complete the requests that we are asking today. And I will leave my remarks with this as I end my presentation. I hope that the updates, I know there was a lot of slides there, and I know I went through them quickly, so I want to honor your time as well. But I hope that it was informative to you, and I hope it's encouraging to you. We have a great system in Pennsylvania County Schools, and I want you all to know that. You do know that. It's attributed to the good work of our teachers, our administrators, our staff, the outcomes of our students, the support of our school board, and the partnership we have with our communities. The people here in Pennsylvania County are what makes the difference. The request is an investment in our community, our economic development in our county, and most importantly, it is in our most precious resource, which is our children, when they come to us here, as you can see, very young, and when they graduate and go into the world. We want to make sure to give them the very best experiences in Pennsylvania County. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your consideration. And thank you for your support of Pennsylvania County Schools.
Thank you, Mr. Mayhew. To the board, are there any questions for Mr. Mayhew? Yes, sir.
I just had one request, Mr. Mayhew. If you could please send us a copy of that presentation, we'd appreciate that.
Sure. Be glad to.
Perfect. Mr. Dudley?
Yes, sir. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Got a question on the Hurt Elementary School. I saw the slide there, and I know those trailers were to be replaced. They've been there quite some time, I think maybe when I was in school. But Do you have an idea of time frame on that, when it'll be changed, when those will be updated?
We're planning to remove all the mobile units, and then what we're doing, it's going to happen very soon. The Hertz our next project.
Okay.
That's our next project. It's a good question. We're removing all the mobile units, and then we're planning for having the students inside the building. Hertz a little bit of a different kind of building, as you well know.
Yes, sir.
You know, it's a unique building, but it's a nice building with a nice gym and nice facilities.
Yes, sir.
We're still working through. I will tell you, we did apply to the state what's called a SASE grant, and I'm gonna call it SASE because it's not. I don't know what. I can't remember what it stands for, but what it's really about is it's giving us a grant to do some engineering work to be able to look at there and see what's the best way to be able to approach and make sure that school is where it needs to be in terms of protection, in terms of capital improvements. So we're gonna take advantage of that.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Mr. Bowman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir.
And thank you, Mr. Mayhew. It was a very good briefing. And I want to commend you and the board and your teachers, the staff, everybody, for the outstanding results that I saw in the presentation there. Excellent. The transition from you and Dr. Jones, it looks like it went very smooth. And you've kept, the baton, so to speak, moving forward. What is your current student population right now? And the following part of that question is, are you losing or anticipating losing any students over the next year or two, just from graduation and basically economics, people moving
Sure.
in and out?
Well, to answer your question, I will say this. The state itself, in terms of population of students, have lost about 2%, enrollment. So we're right about 7,300 right now. I expect we'll probably be pretty steady with that when it comes to the March ADM. It may drop a little bit. It depends on who you ask when you say that. I think, like I said, we've had some drops during the school year that we've had to do some adjustments here. But, I'm on several panels and community partnerships and so forth that indicate that they're expecting, quite a bit of growth in this area at some point. So I would like to see it continue to trend back forward. But, to go to your question in terms of that, the ADM does matter in terms of funding from the state, as you well know. So we'll have to make those adjustments to make sure our classrooms are set in terms and so forth. But again, we're ready for capacity, to bring the students back.
Okay, good. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. Any others? Mr. Dalton?
Mr. Chairman, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayhew. Nice presentation. Going back to the training center, I call it the VOTEC Center, on the building maintenance program, do y'all offer the plumbing and electrical type stuff in that too?
Right now, we've hired somebody, and they've actually started in spring. And they're beginning building trades. It'll kind of be modules that they do that. We'd like to expand that to bring plumbing. We'd like to bring some more positions there. But right now, they're really focused on more carpentry right now.
Okay. Yeah,
Yes,
that's
sir.
kind of a dying thing, so that'd be great if we could get it back in there.
I agree.
Plumbing, electrical, masonry,
Those were hot items at one time.
Yes,
and
sir.
we're
It is.
looking. It's hard to find work sometimes, so it's good.
Absolutely. All right, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, sir. All right. Mr. Mayhew, let me express my gratitude for your making a smooth transition from Dr. Jones to yourself taking over as superintendent as well. And I listen to my colleagues, but I'm going to kind of take a 20,000-foot view of this whole thing because every time I run into Mr. Shields over here, and last time I saw Mr. Fitzgerald, I try to walk fast, but they still ran me down, and they're asking for money. So they're doing their job, and I respect that. But as we get ready to move into budget season, let me say emphatically, okay, I'm chairman of the Finance Committee, and we don't want to sit up here and be window dressing, so I want everyone to kind of understand this whole thing here. And thank you, Mr. Ingram, for requesting that he send us or email us a copy of your presentation. And when I make notes, it's not that I'm not paying attention, I'm just older. The dimmest ink still outlasts the sharpest mind. 28% of the general fund budget is going to go toward salaries and operation costs, okay? I was just in Richmond a little over a week ago and met with some of the folk down there that think they're in charge, okay? But actually, the taxpayer's in charge. The deal is, I want this panel, the board, my colleagues, along with the general public to understand, when we start working on the budget, we're going to have to close a gap there. The delta between what you're asking for and where we are right now, that thing called that local composite index, even though we're going to get additional money, be assured, we're going to get additional money from the state. But that's going to put downward pressure on the county because of that local match. We're going to have to come up with additional money. And let me say this to you, to the board, and I'm going to make you a commitment. There's only one of two ways to get this thing back on track. And my colleagues need to, perk up and listen out of our best ear. We're not like the federal government. We can't go in the back and manufacture money. I'm going to commit to you, being the chairman of the board and chairman of the finance committee, only two ways to close that loop. You have to either cut the programs of school, or guess what the next option is?
Raise taxes.
Okay? So we're going to be there. We're going to make sure that we do not cut the programs of the schools, because you have an excellent thing going on there. So I'm going to make that commitment to you. We have a governor that is going to push the envelope as far as leveling up teacher pay in the state of Virginia. I can tell you that now. So if you think that you're only going to put in the budget 2% increase for teacher pay to be competitive with North Carolina, not going to happen. They're going to put additional money in for teacher pay. Your local composite index is going to require that we match. Period, end of story. So we're going to have to roll our sleeves up and get to work, and we're going to make sure that we commit to going out here, standing united, and let our citizens know that we're managing their dollars well. And we need to also make sure that we're educating the public, because people still ask me, what about that 1% sales tax? And we throw these acronyms around like CIP, like everybody, the average citizen, understands. That money is only for capital improvements, construction costs, that sort of thing. So we have to not only educate our children, but we have to educate the general public in terms of how we are approaching this thing. So I wanted to make sure we commit to you there. And by my numbers, and Ms. Vanderhyde, she'll kind of give me a whipping behind closed doors, we should shake out somewhere in the neighborhood of a 7% increase of where we were last year. And that's going to require somewhere in the neighborhood of our giving you $27 million, if my math is right. But we'll get into the nuts and bolts of that. But I just wanted to share that with this board, my colleagues, while we're sitting here, so that everyone starts to kind of digest what's going on here. Does that kind of make sense? And Ms. Vanderhyde's over there nodding her head, so I think I'm in pretty good company if she's nodding her head, okay? But thank you, sir, for the presentation, and Mr. Shields, I'll turn it over to you if your board has any questions.
He's got a mic right there.
Is it on?
Yes, sir.
I just want to thank y'all for y'all's support. I know y'all got a tough job. It's hard to deal with the public on one side, but just look at the success that these folks, and they sit right over here in the audience, have done with what they have. And our school division is really good with the funding we get. So if you don't fund, the funding is for the kids. It's not for us. It's not for you. And I just want everybody to understand that everything y'all do and we do is for the students and for them to succeed in life. The better they succeed, the better we succeed, right?
Absolutely.
So thank all of y'all. I know you got, excuse me, got a tough job.
Thank you, Bob.
I appreciate it.
Thank you, Mr. Dawes.
Thank you again for meeting with us. I think this is something that probably should happen more than one time a year so that everybody can stay abreast of what's going on in our school system, since it is the largest employer of Pittsylvania County. Having been in the classroom and then now on this side, I can faithfully say that your teachers are putting way more into the classroom than they're getting funded. And your teachers are going to go a lot of times without to make sure the kids in their classrooms have. They treat those kids just as if they're their own. We need to view it as a true investment. And I remember that sticking out in my mind when I became a teacher my first year, meeting down with a financial advisor, and they said, you know, you need to start putting a little bit away. Even if you just put a little bit away, it'll pay off a little bit in the end. But if you can put more away and invest, then it's going to pay out great dividends in the end. And that's also something we need to keep in mind with our children. We don't only need to fund them right now and in the programs in our schools right now, but we want to retain our kids. We want to bring them back to this area so they're not constantly leaving. And if that means raising taxes, bringing in industries, data centers, whatever it means, we have to fund these projects so that we can give back and we can attract this area for our students. So thank you.
Mr. Tucker, thank you for the comments. You probably hit 75% of what I kind of wanted to say. Mr. Brown and I were talking the other day. We all sitting here know you got two ways: raise taxes or industry, point blank, period. I mean, that's the two ways that you've got. This is my third year. The first year I sat here, I remember we talking about what was passed to you guys, right? So you've got to have your eyes wide open or eyes wide shut. This year, Mr. Tucker is talking about turning that trend around. The easiest thing to do is sit and do nothing and say, well, this is what the last board passed, gave me. This is what the last, and this is what the last. And it feels like we've been stuck in that mode 20 or 30 years. You guys are charged with, okay, we're going to stop here. We're not going to be that one the next time that says, well, this board passed this on to us. So I appreciate Mr. Tucker. It sounds like your eyes are wide open to that. And that's what we're asking for, is just, a way to move forward. And that's what we all got. And we know it's going to be hard. I mean, everybody sitting here knows that. But we appreciate your support, and I appreciate your message that you sent out today. Thank you, gentlemen.
Before we adjourn, let me also celebrate and salute, the chairman. We appreciate you stepping up and taking on that role, and I want to express my gratitude to Mr. Doss, past chair of the school board. What a magnanimous job you've done. And, I really, each time I run into you guys jokingly, you guys kind of put me in a headlock or a chicken lock or something like that on the budget. But, I really appreciate your passion for what you do and the passion that you have for our school system, our teachers, and our children, because they are our future. And before we close, I'll say this. Last night I was in bed and I was thinking about everything that's going on nationally on the state level and what we have to do on the local level. But we have to remember that we were only elected for a certain amount of time. It boils down to, what are you going to do while you have that opportunity to serve the public? I mean, it's on you right now. This is your time. This is your moment. There will be other supervisors behind us, but we certainly want to leave it better than we found it. And we don't want to just maintain status quo, Mr. Shields. We want to make sure that we're moving forward. Okay? Anything else? Mr. Evans, keep me in the guardrails. We're adjourned.